Hello, beautiful people. Let us see what we can get into today. I always like to start with a quick recap. Yesterday, we got some character movement going, and we got some dash mechanics going, and got a little deeper into the learning process with ChatGPT in Godot. Our direction today, I'm kind of thinking I want to play with some sprites and see how that'll end up working using ChatGPT to try and generate some. So we're going to try and see how the sprite generation works, and then maybe move on to add some other mechanics, maybe like a health bar kind of situation, or I don't know. We can always ask ChatGPT what we can mess around with. So let's get started here. We should have our project from yesterday. And in this devlog, I'll be jumping around a whole lot. I don't want to sit there and kind of inundate the viewer with too many, I guess, how should I say, too many sessions of me just straight learning. If that's something you'd be interested in, let me know. But for the time being, I'm going to try and jump through and check a few different things out. Alrighty then. So yesterday we worked on getting our movement speed, or getting our movement for the character, adding some acceleration and friction, so some startup and some slowdown. And then we added a dash mechanics. So let's go ahead and test it out just to see if we're still working here. Yeah, we got some movement. I need to center this up over here. We do have some movement. And there is our dash feature. That does feel so good to have kind of no experience with something and play around with it, and you start putting stuff together and it actually works in a sense. This probably won't work too long. As we start adding things will start breaking, but for right now it's a good feeling. So I wanted to bring this up just so we can kind of take a look at the sprite. This is a free sprite from itch.io. Today we're going to try and create one and kind of see how that process works. From what I understand, you can do like a sprite sheet that has multiple different kind of sprite animations in essence, and it puts it all together for, left, right, walking, maybe jumps, things like that. But I'm not sure how that'll turn out. So we will get started here. We also do want to get some music going just to help the workflow a little bit. Chill out. Okay. How's everyone doing today? Hope you're doing well. Hope your lives are doing well. If you had a beautiful day, I had a beautiful day. Let's spread some love if we can. Oh, yeah, we got to get rid of the bird sounds. We tried that yesterday, and we didn't like the city noise of the bird sounds, so let's get rid of these here. Very good. All right, so here comes our partner ChatGPT. Let's see how we can end up getting this guy to work here. Let's keep you there for the time being. Obsidian Mantle. That was some of the stream plan. I'll show you guys a lot of what I'm going through with this stuff. Like yesterday, we were talking about. I was trying to figure out what should we run for today's stream, and it's kind of going with sprites. So even the direction of the stream, sometimes I'll just kind of refer back to ChatGPT, just to see where it's kind of what it's suggesting and things like that. I have an overview of kind of where I want to go, but asking it questions gives some good insight on occasion. So let us start with hello Nova. Let's say hello to our best friend Nova. Hello Nova. We we know it's AI and there's nothing really much going on with it, but it's helping us out a lot. So let's at least be polite and cordial with our buddy here. Yep, see our development focus. So this is something that I kind of had preset yesterday. Set me a reminder for what we're going to work on today. Hello, Nova. And he goes, hey there, just a quick reminder, your development session today should focus on sprite creation. I don't want to have to keep reintroducing context, so when I do little reminders like that, it picks up from where we left off in the previous conversation, to a sense. So here we go. Let us start with our main character with creating a sprite for our main character. Also, I'm not going to be streaming for crazy long today, maybe an hour or two. Yesterday, we're getting into that three-hour range. I'm not sure if that's too long or not, but we'll see. I do want to keep this as live and as possible as far as the log is concerned, or the dev log. But we're eventually going to edit these videos up and edit this content up to just make it a little bit more ingestible for the audience. Okay. So let's figure out what's going on here. Let's go 2D. We'll keep our guy going right here. Okay, general look, human. We want human clothing, armor. So my base idea for the main character is going to be kind of shattered memory, trying to figure out his past. We'll do another dev session on the story later on, but I've got some pretty cool ideas about how that story is going to progress and kind of the story itself. This is going to be like a dystopian dark fantasy, so I do want to keep that, dark, dreary, minimalist kind of vibe going with it a little bit. So we're going to do clothing, armor is going to be, let's say he's starting from waking up for the first time in the world where he has no memories. So clothing / armor. Pendant. I don't want to do pendant. Let's just go tethered clothing and armor for the time being. 3. Okay, weapons and gear. Anything. So we're not going to have him not hold anything to start, just to see what it generates. Pose. Let's just start with a standing idle to see how it goes. Likely, if I'm going to have to try and ask ChatGPT for a sprite sheet to see how it ends up working. If I ask it for one generation, it'll give it to me, but if I try and have it regenerate or try and generate a new sprite sheet for that particular instance, it messes up on occasion. So right now, we're just going to try and see what it ends up kind of generating for us. Here's a wonderful question, actually, for me. Standard pixel dimensions you're aiming for: 32 by 32, 64 by 64. I'm not sure. I do want a grid-based map and kind of grid-based system, but I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to want those dimensions. For now, we'll just keep it smaller. 32 by 32. I also want to keep the context of my world within the character creation here, so also keep the theme of dark and mind. Okay, so let's see what we get here. I've been having such a good time with the ChatGPT image creation. I'm doing it with all my thumbnails. Oh, see, this isn't too bad. But it does have a background that I am not too fond of because it needs to be uploaded into Godot. I need a transparent background, I guess I should say. So let's regenerate with import the sprite, with importing the sprite into Godot for, well, let me reword that. Let's regenerate. Remember, this sprite needs to be imported into Godot 4. So let's see what we end up getting here. So here's something that's interesting. Because of the context from my last, let's see, clear pixel design, it's still got some of a background. Create another. I really do like this model on the right. I want the idea for the character to be kind of vague and ambiguous as far as, gender, race. I want it to have, a humanoid figure, but the more general it is, or the more ambiguous it is, the better I think it will be for the players. As this is my first game, I'm not gonna have a ton of different character customization options, so I want someone to feel like the character can be them without customizing everything. Create another with a. Okay. It is doing a double silhouette, which is quite interesting. Okay. Let me see here. I'm not sure I like this one too much. I really like this here. So maybe I should add something about ambiguity in as well. Let's do this. Clear all memory. I don't want to actually. I'll do that another time. I feel like it's pulling context that it shouldn't, but that's okay. Regenerate. For the new sprite. For this one, keep all the old parameters, but add a level of ambiguity to the main character. Let's see what we end up with. May have to refresh here. I might have given it too much info for it to generate, and it doesn't really know what to do here. As far, oh, no, here we go. Just a little slow here. Ooh. That's actually not too bad. It's kind of got a rogue feel to it, or kind of an assassin feel to it. As does this, but this almost looks like a wanderer or something to the. Let's still just add that. Save image. Obsidian Mantle. I guess I don't have. Oh, yes, they'll be in Godot assets. Let's at least give our game some capitalization here. Maybe correct spelling. I don't think that, whatever. I probably didn't spell that correct again, but that's okay. Main character test sprites. Let's be like it's gonna grind my gears here, so I need to. Not a huge fan of the new rename placement on Windows. I say it's renamed, but I'm so used to the old school just having rename down here. I cannot spell today. We are having a tough time. It's been a long one, but that's all right. Or maybe it's just one of those where you look at it too much and it starts looking funny. I would be curious to see how this ends up turning out here. If we just straight up upload it. As far as the dimension is concerned, I am curious to see how that'll work. Let's minimize this guy. Oh, it's huge. That is huge. Oh, it saved it as a web P, so I wonder if that was the problem. Oh, files. .png. Oh, it's one .png. I wonder if that would cause any kind of issues as far as its size. Hmm. What kind of files are our old sprites? See, this is all good information as I'm running through properties. Where's yield properties? It is a PNG, so I'm curious as to why this guy isn't working. And maybe it won't allow me to save in a certain way, so maybe I'll have to do one of these. No, it still does it as Dolly Web. Maybe if I send me this sprite as a PNG. Very interesting. It's some kind of weird error. See if we refresh if that works. Hmm. Maybe we'll make a new ChatGPT session. This is kind of what I was talking about in previous sessions here on occasion. It gets a little strange, like so. I doubt that will work, but maybe. Yeah, because it's too large. No? Press texture 2D. We will have to figure that out. I've imported the images into Godot, but am met with a red X beside the asset in its respective folder. Let's see what it says here. So it's got to be a PNG. Maybe we need to close and reload. Let us see here. Okie dokie dokie. Still did not work. Transparency issues. Is this spread? Detect alpha enabled. I don't know why I capitalized that. Maybe if we re-import. No, that didn't work. Detect alpha in the file system. Check the image. Oh, and the inspector. I'm not seeing an import tab, family. I'm not seeing an import tab. Let's try anew. I may need to get rid of a lot of my context here. Yeah, let's go ahead and run that. We need to get our initial prompt for our buddy Nova. So there we go. We'll keep those just for future reference. I'm gonna delete this guy here. And give it a unique identity. All right, we have Nova back. I would like to create let's try a full spreadsheet and see what ends up working, or how that turns out. Sheet for pixel art. Spreadsheet for of my game. The Obsidian Mantle. I'm not going to give it too many parameters now. Let's just see kind of what this ends up turning out to be. Yeah, see, once we kind of clear up some context, we do get a little bit different phrasing from ChatGPT, so this may end up working better. Okay. Character concept. Let's go. Do we want to specify human? Would like an ambiguous. I would like an ambiguous main character. I would like an ambiguous main character. The world setting is clothing as they. Let's just use they to keep it ambiguous. As they have lost their. As they have awoken for the first time after losing their memory. Memory. Okay. Pixel size. Maybe we go 16 by 16. With a dark aesthetic. Animation frames needed. What do we got here? We want the walk/run. I wonder if I can have it do all of them. We'll see. We'll go back to that later. For now, we'll just start standing. Standing. Let's go standing idle. Standing idle. And the perspective is top down. It's top down 2D. I guess I forgot to specify 2D in this. Let's see what it comes up with. Oh, I should specify generate. Godot 4. Maybe I should have specified to go off of my last response, but let's see what it ends up turning out with. Very curious to see what it turned out with. Oh, no, no, no. That is not what we're looking for. Hmm. I may have to delete the old combos. That would be unfortunate, but I think it's kind of contextually layering this over and over based off of these old ones. Recreate sprite sheet. But don't recreate sprite sheet, but don't send it to me. Yeah, it looks like we're going to need to get rid of some of these here. That is the one fickle thing about ChatGPT. Oh boy, what is this? Not what we need. We do want to keep our player movement. Okay, let's restart here. Okay. Maybe if we help out our entity a little bit. I said master at pixel art and Godot for sprite. Let's see if that adds some better context. Maybe ChatGPT doesn't like the word ambiguous. I think it's trying to play too much with ambiguous. Let me just give it free rein here for a moment. And just kind of give it the world theme. World is dark fantasy. Dark fantasy dystopia. Create a sprite with It's gray spray for me. Let's see what we end up getting here. Okay, now we're cooking with gas. All right. Would like the sprite to be a full body, but to be, let's just go be full body with a standing eye that is standing idle. Please make sure it can be and properly used in Godot 4. Once you get it to kind of go in the direction you like, you can sit in that direction for quite a while. It's just kind of navigating the context. Here we go. So it's really not liking that. I might have to. Is it still gonna WebP it? Yes. Got a feeling this isn't gonna work. I'll keep going this one, but I should be instead going here. Oh, is that folder not there? Is that why? I don't know. I do like the model though. Male or female, you can't really tell what's underneath that hood and dark eyes. Let's just try and do something like this really quickly. Just delete the whole main character file out of there and then re-add it. I wonder if that was an issue from before. Ay, caramba. What did I do? Oh, obviously that was the incorrect file type. I wonder if it's because I uploaded the folder prior. Oh no, no, no. Still don't have it here. Oh, no, there we go. Very interesting. It is still not working for me. But this guy did for some reason. Compressed texture 2D. I wonder if that is... It is... It is... A compressed texture 2D. Let's see if that works. See, this might be the solution here. Let's see. Can't tell. Truly cannot tell. No. File type should this where it be? I'm curious to see how it saved this. That's still just a PNG. I wonder if it's saying I can't. Let's try this. I may have just had it in the wrong file. Yeah, that's looking like what's going on here. Okay. Ooh, that's a big boy. And it's still got the background. But we're getting somewhere. I could always Photoshop this out, to be honest, but I bet I can ask it to give it a transparent background. Using the old parameters. What we got here? Okay, that's pretty sick as well. Is it big enough? All right. I've never really messed too much with the image generation, or getting this deep and detailed in the image generation, so it's actually very fun. I mean, these designs are so cool. I can probably take that part out and just kind of have a left and right face, or if it's moving left or if it's moving right. And let's do as we did before. See, now we're kind of moving in the right direction. I believe Buddy here is going to start helping us out quite a lot more. Is it already there? I do not see it. I'm pretty sure this is it. Oh, I guess it never sent them to me. Last image. Send the last image with regards to compressed texture 2D. Let's see if that works a little better. Oh, sorry if I'm not as talkative today as I normally am. It was a great day, but it was long and I am quite tired. There we go. Okay. They are still huge, but we can work with that later. No, it's technically not a transparent background. I will have to cut these guys out, I believe. That could be for another day, because we don't really feel like getting too deep with Photoshop today. But man, isn't that a great, absolutely great sprite? Okay. So from what I've gathered, we will be able to play with some sprite stuff here, and I think once I get a good process down, um, we're gonna be able to sprite it up for sure. I'm assuming tile sets, things like that. Let's do a quick tile set. Let's create let's just say a forest. Map tile set that fits this character. It actually might be better at tile sets than creating the characters itself. Oh yeah. Okay. I mean, that does look like a lot of what I would need. Um, I think the tile set will be just fine later on. So instead of kind of digging that much more into sprites, because it looks like I'll have to do a lot more personal testing with it, we are going to work on some more code, and we are going to work on adding some more features to our main character here. Let me do one of these. I don't want to save anything here. Just cancel and reopen today. Just to make sure we left off exactly where we stopped yesterday. Okay, since we deleted our previous context in memory, I am going to reintroduce our movement script code here. One thing I did think about today um, was the amount of room I actually do have to. Let me restate the amount of token usage I have within ChatGPT. I'm curious to see how much code I can give it and how much it'll spit back. I feel like at some point we're going to have to start breaking the code up, and that's probably going to be a weird point in my development cycle. For instance, I know all this here is for our movement speed, but our best practice is to have a bunch of different scripts that kind of connect to the main character, or just to have one big wall of code. If that's the case, a wall of code for your character, if that is the case, then I'm assuming there's going to be a total amount that ChatGPT can or cannot generate. So we might have to try and break that up at some point. But for now, we are only 42 lines in, and I think we can get it done. So today we're going to kind of try and speed run some of the stuff, kind of like we did on day one. Day one, we had it make some code for us, and we spit it out. Day two, we kind of rehashed that code, added a little bit, but dug a little bit more into learning. Today, I want to just see what we can do and what we can test as far as our new code and new things go. Let's see what kind of features we can add to our main character. So let us start with a new chat. Hello. Hello, Nova. Here is the current code we have for our main player, our main character. in the Obsidian Mantle. Just to kind of remind it what we do and don't have. Improve dash feedback. Oh, that would be quite interesting. But we're not getting there yet. We're not going to touch any extra invincibility frames. This will be fun once we get to that point. Once we get some enemies made, we'll test and see how that ends up working. Let's keep this guy a little small. I feel like we had this much larger yesterday, but I could also just been super vibing. Shader editor. Cool. Okay. Now let's brainstorm with ChatGPT on some features. You know, things I was thinking about that we can add today would be maybe like a health bar kind of situation, a health bar, maybe some kind of other interface stuff with it, or maybe an ability or a skill per se. I don't really have any textures for those yet, or any sprites for those, but I would be curious to see maybe adding some kind of attack uh, parameters. You know, we'll see. What sort of features can we? I don't want to mess with any sprite stuff today, so what sort of features can we add to the character that do not require any sprites? Advanced movement, wall sliding, wall jump, ledge grabbing, double jump. I'd be curious to see how the jump will work. Combat enhancements, environmental interactions, shadow effects, sound-based stealth. Energy or stamina system. Let us work on. I like the idea of a stamina system. Let us work on. Later, I'd like to have some kind of like fear meter or psychological meter, maybe. That's something I was thinking about in the future, but let's see. Let's work on a health. Let's work on a health bar system, health bar, and stamina. Let's work. How should I word that? I don't want it to get confused to try and combine health bar, but for instance, I don't want it to make the health bar a stamina system or try and combine the two. Let's work on a health bar as well as a stamina system. Okay, well, I went just right into it. See, now our problem yesterday when we were having it generate code, I didn't have any of my code that was written added in, so I kept having to re-change just left, right, up, or down. And oh moly, it added quite a lot for us. So this looks like all of our dash stuff from yesterday. And our movement speed. Same with this. This is all of our dash. Some more dash logic. Here's our stamina deduction. Stamina regeneration. So before we change too much up, let's Or actually, I sent it to him, so I should have the code saved, right? Yeah. So I'm not too worried about losing that. And I called Nova him, but Nova could be anything under the sun, whatever tickles your fancy at the time. I was just kind of nerding out with a little comic book stuff and Nova here. Okay. This was larger yesterday for sure, but I can do this, and this is what we're looking for. Oh, this is what we needed. So where are we getting our error? Just on the last line, huh? All right, let's see what we got here. We're not too interested in going through every bit of line or code line by line like we did yesterday. I figure we'll do a little bit more of that tomorrow and then maybe touch on a new mechanic. For now, I just want to slap some stuff in there just to see what we can do. This is kind of a learning process for me. Everybody learns a little differently. I like to kind of take a waterfall approach where I start at the top and then end up working my way down. Oh, okay, so we can read our comments here. This can maybe help us go. Health and stamina system for Obsidian Mantle. So we're adding some new variables. This is going to be our max stamina, max health. Variable current, variable current. Dash activation with stamina check. Cool. Health management. So this is what would happen if I do take damage. Maybe we'll try and create some kind of enemy that attacks us in a sense today too, just to see how our health and... Let me see what our mini errors are. We don't necessarily want to ignore them, but we probably could. It wouldn't be a huge deal. I'm assuming it's just different code errors. Like for instance, I know our delta here. Delta was dealing from yesterday. Delta was dealing with frames per second, and this guy needs an underscore in front of it. But we are up to 68, 70 lines of code, and we're still getting some juice back. Oh, and it looks like it's drawing this stuff out for us. So we might actually have some visible. That is phenomenal. I was thinking about how... I wonder what optional means, though, but we'll take a look at that. I was wondering how we were going to end up adding an actual visual for it. I'm assuming that we can create a physical and use our own sprite or our own image, for instance, and then add the code to it. But it seems like Godot is just trying to get a little placeholder going. Okay. This is significantly smaller than it was yesterday. I'll have to figure out what's going on with that, but I'm not too worried about it today. Or maybe it wasn't, and I'm just going a little crazy. So I don't obviously love the placement, but this is a good... Oh, oh, the stamina goes down. Oh, that's so exciting. That's so exciting. See, this is why I'm kind of trying to do this devlog or just this series in general. I have no knowledge. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm still able to actively implement ideas and do things. Obviously, it's not perfect, but if you did know what you were doing, for instance, ChatGPT can just hugely streamline the process for you, debug your code. I think people typically do use it for a lot of code debugging. Um, Obviously, you need to double check your work, but right now we don't have the knowledge to double check our work. So that will come much further down the road. Okay, let's keep our transparent guy up here. Yesterday we had someone in chat that said hello, and I totally missed it. I was locked in. Okay, very, very cool. Obviously, it's still a little clunky as far as the movement. That's something we'll play around with later, but we are moving and we are reducing stamina. But it's only allowing me to use a certain amount, meaning I can press once and the cooldown, by the time the cooldown has finished, the stamina has regenerated. So I can't get like burst dashes yet, but that's not a problem. Right now we're just a cooking with gas. How can we test the health system? Add debug key bindings to simulate. Okay, I like it. Just for a quick test, UI select, what would select be? Is that the actual select button? Heal with J key, apply damage with H key. Oop, 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 oop. Yeah, let's do the manual inputting. I'm assuming I'll use some sort of code like this for, skills in the future. If it's a necromancer type, maybe it'll take some health damage to use skills or, vampiric skill kind of situation, maybe. Instead of having to go back and forgot to hit add. No, don't you do it. Don't you do it. It's doing it. I guess for now, let's just do this. I wonder if it was adding that. Let me redo that. Maybe it was adding that into our. Yeah, it looks like it was adding that into our script. So let's pull this out again. Didn't I blow this up earlier? Yes. See, we're learning a little bit of interface stuff every day without having to ask too much. Just using it, and we are getting some fun stuff out of here. Okay, so where did it add this bit of code? There's a left, right, up, down. Health management. Okay, debug. Okay. I wonder if it picked the right default key bindings for this, or if I'll have to change them. Let's bring this guy up, but I don't need that much space. Let's just add the built-in options to UI select as space, correct? Or do we want it to be space? UI accept is enter. But actually, we just want to make it a key. Let's not be lazy here. We need to start practicing anyway. Add new action. So we have the H key as apply self-damage. Let's just go damage. Okay. And then Let's go J key. I can set it to any key, but let's just keep it with damage heal test. J. Okay. No, we wanted damage as H. Oh, no, no, no. We'll have this guy as J. Very good. So, in our code, let's go to our script. Let's make this damage, and heal. And then 5. Okay, so our dash is still working. H, 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 J, 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 J. Boom, and he died. We don't know how to revive him. Whoopsie daisy. Let's add a revive system. See, that's kind of cool. It works. However, our died and I probably spelled that wrong, but that's okay. Disappeared after losing his health. Let's create a revive system. Any new revive stuff? Okie doke here. What we got? Only one error in the code. Not too bad. While it's hashing that out, I am gonna go and add our R key as revive. Oops. Revive our set. Okay. Oh, it's still writing some code here. It is getting slower as the code is getting larger. Okay. And it looks like maybe our Godot is bugging out a little bit. We're still doing just fine. Oh, damage. Heal. Revive. Let's test. Oh, our Godot did freeze. Yep. Looks like we need a quick old reload. This might be looking like a old-fashioned task manager kind of job. Yep. Well, that's our first kind of crash since we started playing with Godot. and I don't think it's that big of a deal, to be honest. We put a decent amount of hours into it. It's likely nothing to do with Godot, and it's probably just my system having too much going on. Got an older gaming rig set up, so I'm probably a little bit behind in the times. But you know, we don't game too much anymore, so it's not that huge deal. Guy out. Wonder if it saved the revive. No. Okay. Figure again. I did that twice in a row. Okay. Okay, so I did die, but nothing really happened this time, so I cannot move once dead, but our revive script does work. Okay. So that's just an interesting testing with our health and stamina system. Okay. Very cool. We don't really need to keep our damage test anymore. I just wanted to see if it was actually worked. Yes. See, little interface stuff every time we play around with it. I'm not worried about this anymore, and we should still be okay. I just want to test, make sure it runs fine. Yes, and now we can no longer lose health because we have deleted that bit of code. I do want to save our scene for the time being. What other can we add to the main character? Let's give it some more information. So what I do want to do right here, ChatGPT is trying to just trying to recommend a bunch of different mechanics we can add, but we don't really have anything else in here. So we don't have, and I'm trying to stay away from sprites today. So let's see if it can come up with anything. Adding core systems that will form the foundation of your game. Maybe a basic melee attack. I'd be interested in seeing how that works. Or we can mess around with enemy AI. Or inventory. I'm getting so excited just thinking about all these things here. Our skill system eventually is going to be, or let me restate, our progression system is going to be primarily skill based. I don't really want there to be a character level, so I don't want them to go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is going to be kind of roguelitey, so I'm not sure if I do something that's kind of akin to a like a vampire survivor type where it's just kind of a linear, progression where you're going to two or three different options. I guess Vampire Survivor wouldn't be a great explanation or a great analogy here. But I'm sure you understand where I'm trying to reason with. I don't A great game isn't coming to mind that kind of works off the old like roguelike deck builders. Like a Slay the Spire. That's what I'm thinking of. I don't know if I want it to be Slay the Spire-esque or more open world. I like the idea of more open world, but I'm not sure how much we'll be able to get done with that in the early stages. So I am so curious about enemy AI. Let's begin the enemy AI prototype. If we can get an enemy to follow us around, I'd be very happy with today. So, if that's the case, it's very likely we are going to need a new folder here. So we don't have any great file organization to start. This was kind of our second creation, more of our learning environment where I was trying to recreate the process. So we're really not going to be keeping any solid run states or solid save states for a while here. But I do want to kind of try and keep the code I'm using saved as we go. So we'll be copy pasting a lot of the code that's created into new Godot instances and completely new projects just to test things out. So let's do this. Add child node. Character body 2D. Create. Add child node. What is it? Collision? Collision shape. See, we're just trying to learn things right now, or just bring things up from memory. Collision shape. Let's go back to our 2D. Let's give us a rectangular shape. Now we also need to add a sprite. Sprite 2D. Okay, we can just pull this from one of our free packs here, just to see how this ends up working. Okay, so now we need to add our collision for said character. Why is it doing that? Did I, because that's why. Okay. Now let's go to scripts. Enemy. It's going to get assigned to. So here's our movement speed. I wonder if this code here will have them attack us. That'd be interesting. Delta. Yeah, it's always delta. I'm curious to see what this means here. Meaning, I wonder if, much like the other input or the directional inputs we had to put in earlier, this is colored the same, So I wonder if this is trying to reference something called player. I may have to specify, character in here. That might be something that we'll have to troubleshoot in a bit, but for now, we'll see. Where is Delta at? We need our frames. Delta. Oops. Control Z is your friend. To learn Control Z. Everyone, please be using Control Z in most programs you use. Okay, to be. Let's just see what happens. I'm gonna test. Oh, it does have collision. I really need to get a camera set up on a character here. And it didn't do anything, so I do assume. Camera to create. Oh, but we did get stuck on our baddie here. Why are we stuck? That's a question we can ask here in a little bit. Key features, basic movement attack system. Looks for node name player in the scene tree. Yes. Let's see if that helps us out a little bit. Well, I am taking damage, which is super cool. But my character is kind of moving on its own right now, or it seems to be trying to lock back into our main place for combat at least. For instance, I'm running down, I'm dashing, I'm letting go of all my inputs, and it's going back up. But we're getting somewhere. We are getting somewhere. Our enemy isn't moving though, is he? Oh, our enemy is a moving. Oh, but it seems like it keeps trying to snap to the enemy. So let's ask it. Our character, our player, keeps moving on its own after being by the enemy. Our player velocity isn't being reset. I wonder if this is something I need to export. This will be a good test for me to see, or for me to learn where to start adding code that ChatGPT spits out for certain things that's already in a where I already have some code written. Current health, current stamina, max health, max stamina. Add this and the following. Let's see. Okay, so it added our knockback after our health and before our movement. Ooh, I need something to drink here. We're getting a little thirsty from all this talking to myself. I'm not too worried about, having viewers, having things like that. It's not a big deal. This is really just kind of for me. If I can get a game made out of this, I'd be super happy. If I can get my vision actually implemented, that I've already won. This is just our first project. This is the first thing we're testing. I want to show that this is something I can do and that others can do if they don't have any experience, if they don't really know what to do, or if they're kind of intimidated with code and intimidated with trying to start this process. I don't want to be Mr. Motivational Guru, but you can do it. You can do it. There's tools out there now. Don't be scared. Give it a shot. All you can do is fail. That's it. Once you fail a bunch of times, you get used to it, and then you eventually end up winning at some point. I failed a ton in my life with projects and work and things. You go from being successful to not successful to successful again, and it's just the journey. It's the process of life, and it's learning from each of the losses, taking something new. Everything you do can aid you in your next conquest. It can help you out. And let's test this code while I'm over here just a rambling. So it does look like we are still being dragged. So we, ooh, still on the enemy. Okay. Let's do this. Update player code with your. We will do the enemy AI code update after. This is just so it doesn't try and do both back to back, or it doesn't try and get them a little confused. So I just want to segment this off. Let's make sure we're still streaming here. We are live. Okay. Are we? I hope we're live. Yes. Still. We love the little raccoon, man. Okay. everything's still working. Luckily it is. Now, I really don't know how optimal any of this code is, because I don't know how to write code, and I will say that 100 times over. Don't know how any of this is going to work proper, but we're learning, and I'm having a blast with it. So I hope this would be something you'd have a blast with too if you're watching. Give it a shot. Probably spelled recommendation wrong, but that's a-okay. Any errors? No errors. All right. Still being dragged to. There's the knockback. But it looks like the character is just continuously trying to reset position. But we do have a knockback knockback effect now, so within a hour, how long is the stream going? In an hour and a half, we have fumbled hard with sprites. We have added health and stamina system that we're obviously going to change at some point, and we have added some knockback effects to our player code, and we have added some enemy AI. Let's see if we can get this handled. A lot of this is just for me to test the process as well. So if I'm having issues with my code, how do we get ChatGPT to fix it? Mm-hmm. Oh, it went to do the enemy AI code. This is... Ay, caramba. I should have been more specific. I should have just pasted the code in itself. That is unfortunate, but we still have the enemy AI code saved later, so we'll be okay. And this is probably way more code than we actually need. I'm sure there's a way I can significantly reduce this, and there's other commands and other things we can use. I could be wrong. It could just be par for the course with these things, but we'll see. Ooh, we broke something here. We most definitely broke something here. This is why we save. Excuse me. This is why we save all of our old code. See, now we're running into actual problems. I. I keep changing the enemy. I'm all over the place today. All over the place today. Make sure we are on our player character. I spelled that incorrect. Way incorrectly. I wonder if this is trying to. Oh, this is getting very deep for us, but let's see what we can do with it. Okay, just to make sure. Has it updated with our input directions? Left, right, up, and down. Sisu Poire. It's not always delta, but we're just gonna leave that there for now. Okay, so it looks like we're back to our. Does the enemy follow? Yeah, enemy still is following. Okay. Don't really need patrol points. Okay. Very cool though. So we've tested some enemy AI. It's still obviously not what we want, but can. What other features? What other can we add to the player? It's going crazy. It wants us to add combo systems. Don't really care about movement upgrades. Stealth would be something that's interesting. I don't know if I want to add a stealth mechanic into the game, but that might be something later on. Let's work on an inventory. Let's work on an inventory system. Oi. Oh, my typing is crazy. And a separate script for better modularity and scalability. This way you can manage items independently from the player's core mechanics, movement, health. Okay. Alrighty. Cool. We're definitely going to need to change our player mapping or our key mapping. But we are adding a little health potion. Oh! Errors, errors. C. So this might be a better way for us to be coding from now on. Maybe the health system be a separate script. Maybe the health and stamina system be a separate script. Line 17. Node. Okay. Oh, we don't actually have a node set for our player inventory. So it looks like we'd have to have separate nodes for the health potion, things to that effect. We're not going to get that deep today. I'd be curious to see what this results in. I've got a feeling it'll be quite the same. Or no. Okay. Not too worried about testing the potions either. I'm just curious to see what happens with our inventory, if it actually returns anything. It probably won't, but did I set that map correctly? Looks like it had it capitalized. I doubt this will do anything, but... Oh, no, no, no! So it looks like we can't actually hook it to the character body. It might have to be a separate node, which I'm sure if we read all this, it would probably work a little bit better. But I think that's where we're going to stop today as far as our coding is concerned. We're getting a little tired. It was had a nice, good day. Um, but please, please, please keep up with the progress. If you're doing something similar, if you're doing your game, trying to create something for yourself, it's a process like anything else in life. You have certain days where you can lock in and super focus, and you have other days where you get a little bit done, but you moved further a bit. You took another step, even if it's a tiny one. It was taken. So I think we're gonna call that there. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe. If you have any questions, throw it down in the comments. And have a wonderful day.